So pretty much the secret is just making sure that we give Google what they want and create great content. So let's talk about how we can do that, and this is the strategy that we use to do that. So the big problem that a lot of SEOs have had up until this point in time is the further that the content creation gets from the source, that is you, typically speaking, if you're the business owner, the further that content creation gets from you, the lower the quality. And not only that, how do you find time to write an article or post a video on YouTube? You know, you're busy enough as it is, servicing your clients and giving them a great experience. So that's the big problem that most business owners have. Now I'll talk about the solution that we use and how you might use a similar strategy. So basically I record workshops on my different topics. So the first thing a business owner might start to think about right now would be thinking about whether or not they deliver the workshop themselves or not is irrelevant. They could get an expert to come in and speak on a particular topic. But think about in terms of running, you know, small workshops with the primary purpose of recording that workshop. Because what this enables you to do is it's like a forced constraint. You know, you're going to have a rule of people, therefore you're going to get all of the material ready for the workshop itself, and it's a way to create a mass amount of content in a very short space in time that's very high quality. So rather than traditional SEO where people are pumping out low quality articles and spinning them and pushing them across blog networks and things like that, a lot of those strategies are dying out now. And sure, there are still some little loopholes that you can get through, but that window of opportunity is closing. So you need to think, again, think where the puck is going and think much more long term. And that's where we came up with this particular strategy. I've been using this strategy for a very long time. As I told you right at the start, I used to start in the stock market niche. And you can see a video there. I created it, or we used to cut it up in 2008. So we've been using this strategy for more than 5 years, and there's a good number of views on that and just about all of the videos that we've created. Now, I then talked about it in an SEO course that I did called the SEO Method, and then Pete Williams actually talked about it at a conference, Ed Dale's Homecoming, and it really is, what I'm going to take through here is the secret to maximize content and push it out across lots of different platforms. Now, I'll actually walk through the strategy here with you, but just to give you the top level overview, it always starts off with creating a workshop or some very rich piece of video content. Then you can look at basically taking that video content and chopping it up into pieces and uploading it to YouTube. Now, all of the pieces of content that I'm going to be talking about, you should optimize for keywords, just like I talked about optimizing your website as well and optimizing that content. Now, this strategy I call the Content Contagion, because you're creating, it's a very leveraged way. It's you spend your time at what you're good at, which is creating the content, typically speaking, and then you can create a system, a method for distributing that content, and you can actually get a team to step in and do the vast amount of this work for you. But you might start with a workshop, cut it up into pieces and upload it to YouTube. And as Dale mentioned at the start, that's one of the ways that I've got 700 different videos on my channel, and why my stock market channel has over, coming up close to 2 million views, and why my my internet marketing one is almost up to 800,000 views. That's through this same strategy. You can then take parts of that and you strip the audio out, just like Dale said that he strips the audio from presentations like this so you can consume it in another format. You could then take that audio and then it could be uploaded to an iTunes channel. Then the videos, one level down, can be transcribed. You take the transcriptions and you can also upload the video to Wistia, which is another video service. Now we've got transcriptions and we've got the video hosted on another platform other than YouTube. We can take the transcriptions and the Wistia videos, we can tie them together, and then you can post them on your blog. So look at that. I've created a YouTube video, I've created an iTunes audio, I've now created a blog post. I can then take that blog post and turn it into a PDF and submit it to a site like Scribed or one of these PDF sharing sites, because people consume information in different ways. Some people like to read, some people like to watch videos, some people like to listen to audio. So I'm really delivering it in a format that they would like to consume it. You could also take those transcriptions and then turn that into a high quality report. So hand it to a ghostwriter and say, right, I want you to turn this into a report and make it great. And then that report can get placed on your website. Bang, another bit of content. And basically through this strategy, you create a whole bunch of content from this one seed piece of content, and then you might share it across your social network. So you might set yourself up a Google Plus page, as I talked about. You might have a Facebook page, Twitter, and you might even have some other social network sites that you share it on. It doesn't really matter so much the exact specifics of which platforms I'm sharing on. What I want you to get at this point in time, the real takeaway here is the concept. This idea that you create one piece of content that you can split into many. And it makes sure that all of this content remains in a very high quality format. So this small input gets you a very big output. So I might run a workshop that might get me 60 YouTube videos, might be 10 audios on iTunes, that might be 60 blog posts on my site. I might turn that report into a mini site. I might take those transcriptions and turn them into PDFs, and that gets uploaded to Scribed. Then I might take the report, and I might cut that report up when I got it back from the ghostwriter into even more articles, and there's another 60 articles. And you can see there, from creating a one-day workshop, it takes a bit of work to get that one-day workshop, but I might create 250 plus pieces of content, and you don't need to just distribute it all in one go. You could drip that out over 6 months, run one workshop, and you've created enough content for you to syndicate over the next 12 months or however long. And then that's not to mention all of the social shares. And what I've just showed you there is a great way for building backlinks to your website, because all of this content points back to your website. In fact, the way I like to think of it is a little bit like Hansel and Gretel, and all of these pieces of content that you're sharing out on the web are like breadcrumbs. And people, they'll come across your breadcrumb, whether it's on Scribed or YouTube, or if it's on iTunes, or they find your website in Google, and they watch a bit of content, and at the end of that piece of content, you have a call to action which pulls them back to your website, and then you can go ahead and make the sale. And of course, all of this content, you should follow the same strategies that I was talking about when it comes to optimization. So you choose one keyword per pieces of content. So if you think about it, you could target effectively over 250 different keywords just by this one particular strategy. And what are we doing? We're giving Google what they want. We're giving them great, high-quality content. We're not doing this spun, low-quality, spammy article stuff. And when you start to put out great content into the world, SEO starts to happen naturally. People start to share your content. They'll post it on their blog. They'll retweet it. They'll engage with it, which allows that SEO to happen naturally, which is really the ultimate goal of what we're looking for.